Alright, what's up guys and welcome back again to some more Tsukihime. Let's continue. Alright, kill her quickly and cleanly. Take CL and run. Let's get the hell out of here. The situation is clear. An ordinary person would have no hope of escaping this army of the dead. I'd get bogged down trying to fight my way out, find myself dogpiled, and end up eaten alive. But I'm no ordinary person anymore. Though I have yet to drink blood, I'm still half turned. I grip my knife in my right hand. Grip my teeth against the pain in my left. And with that left hand, I hoist Ciel up and leap clean over the encroaching circle of zombies. With a run-up, I clear 10 meters in a heartbeat. My ankles take the impact as I more crash than land. There's a limit to how well I can absorb the shock while carrying Ciel, but I avoid any serious damage. So this is what it's like to be a vampire. If the zombies were my only concern, I could make a clean getaway, but for the briefest moment, I look behind me. The Scarlet Vampire is grinning sadistically. Go on, run, she seems to say. It's more fun that way.
走るぞ、先輩。
I adjust Ciel so she's piggybacking me as I sprint through the field of debris. That thing almost got you. Not an instant later, an iron spike grazes my thigh.
楽しい狩りの始まりね。ああ、本当夢みたい。ずっとこうしたかった。ずっとこの時を待ち続けたの。最高。ありがとうって言ってあげる。期待通りの反応で嬉しいわ。お人よしの人殺しさん。
Her voice chimes in my ear. She picks me out with a directed sound waves while the ringing of bells fills the crater. It must function like sonar, allowing her to map out her surroundings. All dead apostles of rank 6 or above have distinctive eminence arts. It seems that her power has to do with sound.
知ったことか、バカ。
It's information that might save my life, but I don't want to hear it. There's no time for our lecture from inside my own head. I flee from the threat looming behind me, trembling with anger as I run. One thought dominates my mind, eclipsing all else. I was ignorant of what really happened 13 years ago, of how helpless humanity was against that tragedy, how arrogant I've been mouthing off about defeating Roa without even knowing what he was capable of. Now I understand Noel's deep-seated hatred of me. Yeah, I sympathize with her. I can't find fault with her desire for vengeance, for wanting retribution for those who were killed. As the sole human survivor of Roa's massacre, she has every right to demand it.
ほら、急がないと焼き鳥串みたいになっちゃうぞ。まずは足から。そうしたらお腹を刺してひとまとめにして、最後はやっぱり股間から脳天までぶっ刺すのが定番よね。
Oh, I'm definitely not interested. Metal rain thunders in my wake. She's clearly toying with me. Her spikes are deliberately aimed just shy of my heels, so that I'll be skewered if I slow down by even a hair. But with Ciel on my back, running is all I can do. At this rate, the spikes will catch up to me eventually. If I want to get out of this, I'll need to leave her behind. That's the point, of course. But I was playing this game on purpose to force me to abandon Ciel. But it doesn't matter. I'm hardly even paying attention. The insides of my head are boiling over with fury. I didn't know the first thing about either of them. The girl who survived the living nightmare, and the girl who created that nightmare only to awaken in its wreckage.
くそくそくそ。
I run, cursing all the while. Here I thought I was the only victim. Ciel tried to tell me otherwise, but I didn't pay attention. And for all I knew about Roa's host, I never spared a thought for what life might be like as one of them.
昔、私はこの体になるきっかけで罪を犯しました。多くの間違いを犯して、多くの人命を見殺しにした。その後 私に課せられたのは犠牲になった人々の数と同じだけの処罰でした。
What kind of fucked up nightmare is that? She must have watched powerless as Roa did as he pleased with her body before being slaughtered by Archwade. And her suffering didn't even end there.
教会の人たちは異端者であるその子を何度も何度も殺すんですけど、どうやっても
She endured one execution for every life she took. She allowed herself, a living human, to be treated like an indestructible object. And still, after atoning 100 times over.
でもそんなのは違うんです。私は全然強くない。単に死なない体だから、体が強いから罰に耐えられただけ。普通の体だったならきっと一日で投げ出していたんです。
She still can't forgive herself.
ふざけやがって。
She wants to die a human death. That isn't atonement. She just wants to forget it all and rest. But she treats it as her absolute duty. She's convinced herself that if she saves all this from Roa, kills him, and submits herself to death's judgment, she'll finally have paid the price for her sins. I'm sorry, CL. I don't think I'll ever have your strength. All I have is this violent rage. Rage at myself for failing to realize the burden you bear. But now...
ふーん、まだそんな体力が残っていたんだ。四季君一人ならとっくに地上に逃げられたのにね。一体いつまでそんなガラクタを背負ってるつもり？
That might have been a blessing in disguise. I'm glad I didn't give myself up to die. I'm glad I didn't leave you alone, even if it means letting Roa get away. Jumping as high as I can, I disappear into the ruins. No spikes follow me. I thought as much. She's not yet grown into her powers. At her current stage, she can only pick up on sources of sound, which is to say, moving objects. It took a while to find, but this place should suit my purposes. There's enough space here for one person to hide undetected. I let CL down against the wall. She's asleep, but her eyes are wide open. At first glance, anyone would think she was dead. But she can't die. That's how she's endured so much. This vampire's mystic eyes are just another bump on a long, long road. She'll shake them off in no time and come back to me. So until then, the best thing I can do is buy her time. I hold her unmoving body close. I whisper her name as I run my fingers through her indigo hair and finally speak the words I've been aching to say. Our embrace only lasts for 10 seconds, but I'm certain we felt each other's warmth. And then I drag myself away. So goes the last day of my personal desires. All that's left now is my duty. With a deep breath, I take off back to the crater and the clearer lines of sight it offers. I emerge from the maze of debris into the central basin. It's amazing how sprightly I am with no one to carry. I could probably bound up the giant staircases that end back to the surface in minutes. That is...
Ara, ブッシュから出てきてどうしたの？もしかして諦めちゃった？それとも命乞い？どっちにしろ、楽しいウサギ狩りはここまでかしら。
If she'd let me... A palisade of spikes cuts off my escape as the vampire touches lightly down to earth. Now that we stand on the same broken ground, I could reach her inside of 2 seconds.
お荷物は暗がりに落としてきたのね。それでいいの。それが正解だもの。よかった。あなたにもまだ人間らしいところが残っていたのね、四季君。
I keep my guard up as I scan for her weaknesses. Her tone is amiable, but her words are dripping with bloodlust. Our battle has already begun. Still, staring her down, I take in my surroundings. Only Noel has managed to keep pace with me. Her pack of zombies will take a few minutes to shamble close enough to be a threat. Metal spikes surround me. Driven into the earth at 1 meter intervals, they form a fence to keep me enclosed. A circular pen 40 meters across. I could easily hop it if I wanted to, but my hyper-attuned senses tell me that would be a bad idea. They'll deaden sound waves, most likely. Nothing as powerful as her mystic eyes, but they'll still rattle my brain, disrupting both my cognition and balance. And if that happens, I'll be a sitting duck waiting for the skewer. That's probably what those spikes are really meant for. Noel's guiding ethos is restraint and torture. Fundamentally, her power, her curse, is to trap her victims in fixed confines and subject to them gentle torment. The only way to break free from this prison is to destroy its source.
あら怖い怖い。メガネを取ったってことは私を殺す気になったってことよね。
Now, this is a battle to the death. The slightest misstep or misfortune would be fatal. That should scare me, right? Of course it does. I'm even more terrified than the time I fought Vlav. Not just because she's strong, but because I've glimpsed her heart. If I die here, it'll be because a part of me still sympathizes with her. But I won't let that happen. I can't afford to lose. Noel holds a single spike in her hand. She's been raining them down on me by the dozen. She could use as many as she wanted, but her smile gloats that just this one is enough.
知ってるわ。キューサ猫を噛むでしょ。ああ、それはダメか。私負けちゃうもの。この場合は支柱に勝つありってやつ？まあどっちでもいいか。大事なのは生意気にも私をどうにかできると思ってるその目つきをどう教育するかなんだし。
Here she comes. Even taking into account the differences in our weapons and abilities, I can only take 2 hits at most. I raise my knife and shift my weight onto my heels.
まあ体罰が妥当よね。そんなナイフでどこまで持ちこたえられるか先生が試してあげる。
I fall backwards fluidly, but in full control. Noel and her spear pass overhead as I topple into a bridge pose. The spike meant for my heart pierces empty air, inches above the tip of my nose. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Noel grimace. Her stomach, and the line of death running across it, is fully exposed. I twist under her guard, aim carefully at my target, and the elbow of her weapon arm sends me flying. I redirect my momentum into a roll as I crash backwards into the ground. That was stupid of me. She was not the only one with vampiric agility. I underestimated my own speed and launched myself straight into her shoulder first. The slightest graze sent me flying through the air. She looks like a child, but she hits like a truck. I've got to focus. Her spear isn't the only threat.
すごいまたドールみたい。それともうつせみの術？違うわよね。主役は私なんだもの。せいぜい目障りなカトンボってところかしら。どっちにしろ面白い。素敵よしきくん。今ので当たらないのなら次はもっと少し強く言ってあげる。
Fortunately, Noel is in similar disarray. Her attack just now was more or less a blind charge. She didn't even consider what to do if I dodged, and when I did, her momentum slammed her straight into the palisade. Perhaps she's not used to her newfound strength. No, more likely she just isn't taking this fight seriously. But that doesn't make her any less dangerous. One hit from her elbow crushed my bones to powder. My shoulder burns as it knits itself back together. I don't even have to look. I can imagine the muscles writhing around my shattered bones like giant slugs, forcing them back into place.
なあ、さっきから気になってたんだけど。
I just have to buy a few seconds.
何？私の魅力に参っちゃった？年下の先生って興奮しちゃう？
そりゃ別の意味で参ってるけど。
A dead apostle is like an upgraded human. Those who became vampires can optimize their appearance to reflect their ideal self, or their body to impart inhuman pleasure. So Noel's current appearance must be what she considers the pinnacle of beauty. And for a living creature to consider their early puberty the pinnacle of anything is unfortunate.
いやそうじゃなくて、あんたがロアを憎む理由は分かった。でもいいのか、こんな方法で。俺を殺してもロアは死なないぞ。
Roa is nothing but data to be transferred. Killing me won't affect them. She needs the seventh holy scripture baptism or some means of delivering death directly.
その通り。頭のいい命乞いね。確かにあなたをめちゃくちゃにしたところでロアには何のダメージもないわ。私の復讐は果たされない。
なら。
でもいいの、そんなの。ロアへの復讐なんて今さら何の意味もないと思わない？ロアを殺せば誰かに褒めてもらえるわけでもないんだし、そういういい子ちゃんごっこはあの女にお似合いでしょ。
No surprise there. I've long suspected that was how she felt. A roll on my shoulder and good. Feels back in working order.
やだ、びっくりさせちゃった。そう、私はロアの転生体を殺したいだけ。あなたを殺して気持ちよくなりたいだけ。あの女を殺して気持ちよくなりたいだけなの。
Then you most certainly lost your way, Noel.
その後のことはまたその時に考えればいいと思わない？だってせっかく吸血鬼になったんだもの。後先を考えて我慢するなんて、そんなの人間らしいにも程がある。
矛盾してる。ロアを殺さないと先輩は死ねないのに。
バカじゃないの？あれは生き返るだけで死なないわけじゃないでしょ。殺せばちゃんと死ぬのよ、あの人は。
Then you haven't killed her.
だからね、ずっと殺し続けておけばいい。例えば濃硫酸のプールに浸しておくとかどう？生き返っても即死する状況にしておけば、あの子は永遠に生き返るけど生きていないことになるでしょ。
I bought myself more than enough time. My shoulder is good as new, although my head aches a little from the expenditure of blood. I'm perfectly calm. I must be because I'm fully aware of the zombies assembling outside the pen. So I can ask her one final thing.
ノエル先生、これがあなたとの最後の会話でしょうけど。
最後の間違いよしきくん。日本語は正しくね。
むざむざ殺される気はありません。それでもあなたが俺だけを殺すというのなら筋は通っています。
へえ、だからシエルは見逃せっていうの？本気？でも無理だから。というか四季君の命なんてどうでもいいし、先にあなたを殺しておけばあいつはもっと苦しむでしょ。わかる？あなたはただの前妻なの。私にとってメインディッシュはあの女の処刑ってまだわかんない？
そうか。
There's nothing more to say. The memory of a helpless girl trembling in a chapel hall fades into the back of my mind. In its place is conviction, clearer than ever. I cast aside the last vestiges of my human sympathy.
聞いた俺がバカだった。
And grip my teeth against my headache as I close on her for the second time. 6 meters between us. 2 steps until I'm in range. 1 step. My gaze homes in on her right hand, which is readying her weapon, and her right foot where tension is gathering. A right-handed thrust would use the left foot to support the body's weight. If she's using the right, that means 2 steps. Now I'm in spear range. My weapon has a far shorter reach than hers. The lines of death wiggle and writhe. Unless I dodge the coming attack, I won't be able to cut them cleanly. I screech to a halt in front of her, twist around the spear, shooting towards my heart, and
なんて、マジで付き合ってあげると思っちゃった？
she flicks me. Just a tap from her middle finger to my side is enough to send me crashing to the palisade. My back slams against the metal spikes. My side has gone numb. I fight for breath against a ruptured diaphragm, and then there's the sound. The instant I touch the spikes, a brain-scrambling cacophony assails me. I open my eyes to find zombies clawing at me. A swarm of hands grasp my prone body. I roll away to get some distance from the palisade. The zombies won't cross it, probably at Noel's command. Which means she'll be coming to finish this personally. But nothing comes. She's still in the center of the ring, clutching at herself with pleasure.
これが吸血鬼の体なのね。イメージ通りに体が動いて、イメージ以上の力に満ちている。私、ずっと疑問だった。どうして吸血鬼たちはあんなに偉そうで、どいつもこいつも人間を虫けら扱いするのかって。でも、その理由が分かっちゃった。だって実際虫けらなんだもの、あなたたち。たった一度生きて、たった一度死ぬしかないなんて、小さすぎて笑っちゃうわ。
I get to my feet and walk back towards the vampire. My breathing's still impaired, but I'll heal before I reach my destination.
そうよ、いらっしゃい。あなたは逃げ出さない限り、死者たちには手を出させない。次は指一本じゃなくて、ちゃんと平手打ちで真っ二つにしてあげる。この舞踏場の中でボロボロになるまで私と楽しみましょう。
We end up at the same distance as before, 6 meters. Noel's more focused than ever. I clench my left hand to test whether it's recovered. The finger still won't curl, but I can move the arm at least. And now that we've traded 2 blows, I have all the information I need. I scowl to myself. That's not a good sign. At this rate, I really could kill her. She must have mistaken my hesitation for fear, because she launches herself at me with an ecstatic grin. A crude thrust, relying on pure momentum. She won't get the better of me a third time. She's gotten faster, but I can see her limits. My newly restored left arm is once again sacrificed to intercept the blow. As the spikes piercing my wrist on the way to my heart, I fling my arm out to the side. There it goes again, I guess. But it's a small price to pay. For an unobstructed shot at her neck. A single thought flashes through my brain. Time to kill her and be done with it. No, it wouldn't be right. This is like one of those crucial choices. Gotta be very careful with this one. I feel like it might be too easy to just like immediately go for the killing blow. No, it wouldn't be right. Just before I sever her head, I stop myself. My hard-won opening slips through my fingers. Like a replay of our first clash, one of her limbs, this time her knee, catches me and sends me bouncing across the broken ground. My left arm is no longer usable. It's so badly mangled, I'm amazed it's still attached. The blood loss makes my head swim. Soon I won't be able to breathe. The only saving grace is that without the warmth of circulation, I can't feel the code. I'm a picture-perfect walking corpse, but I knew that this was a possibility. My play was all or nothing. Now that I've squandered the chance it earned me, all that awaits is death. As for Noel, she's over 10 meters away, patting her neck to make sure her head is still attached. Her face is a mask of terror.
今もしかしてやばかったの？
I have nothing to say to her. A chance like that won't come around again.
待ってよ、待ちなさいよ。どういうこと？情け 酒をかけやがったの。に刺されるだけの虫のくせにこんなに強くなった私をまだ下に見るっていうの。
She vaults back onto the pillar and stares down at me as though repulsed by an insect.
もういい。遊びは終わりよ。そこで惨めな肉になっちゃえ。
Also, now you play chicken. The zombies start to shamble through the palisade.
ほんと今更だけど、あんたのそういうところは素直にすごいと思うよ。
I mean, she's employing the optimal strategy. There's a huge risk in engaging me at close quarters. Then that she's realized I pose a very real danger. She won't stay in melee range. Her best options are picking me off from range or wearing me down through force of numbers. As drunk on power as she is, she knows her limitations. A healthy level of cowardice is important for survival. Only 3 kinds of people would be insane enough to fight me head on. The mindless living dead, something powerful enough not to fear death, or a human capable of swallowing their terror.
あとは俺の体力次第か。くそ、生きたまま食べられるのって痛いんだろうな。
I adjust my grip on my knife. There's no going near those spikes. If I try to jump over them, I'll drop right out of the air like a bug hitting a zapper. The ring of zombies slowly tightens around me. With a vampire's endurance, I can probably take 20 at best. Beyond that, my chances drop to nil. Try as I might, I can't picture myself making it out alive. I could have finished this. I wonder why I didn't. But there's this nagging feeling that I should leave Noel for someone else to deal with. Well, no time for regrets. It's not like I can afford to die here anyway. I muster the last of my blood and brain power and hurl myself into the encroaching tide of undead. I count down another zombie. That makes 10, 20, more? My vampiric body never ceases to amaze me. Several minutes without breathing and I'm still conscious. Only my precision has dulled slightly. Any blood I lose regenerates rapidly from my bone marrow. As long as the sun is down, there's no limit to the life force I can draw from. Although in my left arm still healing and zombies taking chunks out of me, my rate of blood production is barely keeping pace with my expenditure. But as long as I'm standing, I can keep fighting. That's 40 now. Only 10 or so left to go. I don't even feel my headache anymore. Now when my entire body feels like it's gonna burst from the strain. But I can keep going. I can do this. Once I've gotten rid of all the dead, I just have to bring their mistress back to ground level and then...
いい顔ね。終わりが見えてきて生き返ったって感じ？ねえ、実際あなたはすごいわ、しきくん。私感動しちゃった。だからご褒美をあげる。その希望をぐちゃぐちゃに踏みつぶして思いっきり泣かせてあげるわ。
You know, if you really want to surprise her, you should cut the lines on the pillar she's standing on. Funeral bells sound across the crater. How long has it been since this battle started? Only now do I notice that more zombies are amassing outside the ring. At least as many as were there originally.
残念だったわね、おバカさん。ここをどこだと思っていたの？ルアの地下墓地の慣れの果てよ。手足になる死者なんてそれこそ吐いて捨てるほど埋まってる。そうね、私から見てもざっと10体分ぐらいはいるんじゃないかしら。
My heart finally sinks as the last of my hope evaporates. 10 times 10. More than 100 zombies. And still more are coming. Just let go, a voice whispers in my ear. The proposition is all the more appealing to a vampire. Getting injured doesn't hurt all that much, it's the healing that's agonizing. So dying would be peaceful. In a way, giving up is the easiest choice. Wait, what the hell am I going on about? Since when did I care about doing things the easy way? cut my way through the latest wave. Even now, she's still toying with me. Left to their own devices, her minions would have gnawed me to pieces by now. The only reason I'm still alive is because she's still controlling them. She's sending them at me one by one as she watches from on high. This must be revenge for humiliating her. She's waiting on tenterhooks for a moment I falter.
驚いた。それで50体目よしきくん。でもいい加減疲れたでしょ。自分から殺してくださいって思えてきたでしょ。そもそも何のために戦うの？もうローに乗っ取られるって分かっているんでしょ。どのみちあなたは消えるんだから、もう楽になったら。
Shut up already. These zombies are bad enough without her voice in my ear. The only thing I'm getting tired of is her games. If she wants to kill me, she's gonna have to work for it.
ほんとしつこい人ね。ねえ、どうして死にたくないから戦うの？でもあなたはもうすぐ消えるじゃない。なのにどうして諦めないの？目障りなのムカつくの見ていられないの？ほらさっさと死ね虫けら。あの時の私みたいに何もかも投げ出せって言ってるの。
I feel a spike coming from above and leap back. It flies from her hand to pierce the ground at my feet. She stares dumbly down at it, as though she's cast aside her pride with her own hands. In this killing field, I find myself grinning.
何がおかしいのよ。先に頭の方がいかれちゃった？諦めないのは脳が腐ってもうゾンビになってるからなわけ？
I'm not certain. I'm still saying myself, but apparently I've retained the capacity for pity.
まったく言いたくはなかったけど、あんたの勘違いは耳障りだから教えてやるよ。俺は死にたくないからあがいてるんじゃない。シエル先輩がいるから立っているだけだ。あんたが何をしようが知ったことか。
なんですって？
I take a deep breath. As soon as I say this, it's over. No more playing around. She'll come for my head. I'm fine with that. I can take it. But unless I reaffirm here and now what it is I'm fighting for, I might lose sight of who I am.
俺が諦めないのは先輩を信じているからだ。もっと生きていたいからだ。っていうか、俺はこれからずっとシエルと楽しくやっていくんだから、こんなところで死ねるかバーカ。
Stick down your pipe and smoke it.
ああ、そういうこと。拷問って苦しめるだけが答えじゃないのね。命を奪うこと、未来を奪うことそのものが責め苦になるやつもいるわけ。
The zombies cease their lurching movements. An enormous number of spikes array themselves behind Noel, more than my brain could possibly follow.
いいわ。それならさっさと殺してあげる。あの女への見せしめに隙間なく埋まって死ね！
The spikes settle into rows and fly at me in volleys. This isn't a precision strike, it's a carpet bombing. She's giving up her zombies as collateral damage. My legs reflexively try to dodge, but I freeze. There's no avoiding this. I'm done for. But they never arrive. A steel cannonball blasts through the metal rain from the sidelines. Thank you, CL. One of the church's black keys rests on the ground. That can only mean... I look up in joy. The vampire looks up in anger. We follow the black key's trajectory to its source. She stands atop a crumbled pillar. Piercing eyes look down on Noel, framed by a cold moon. At last, CL has woken from her dream. I'm not surprised you're gonna see things from her perspective now. I watched normality descend into a nightmare.
やめて
I watched parents kill their children.
やめてください
I watched children kill their parents.
お願い
I watched as all are consumed by indiscriminate slaughter.
やめてやめてやめてやめて
I watch helpless to intercede as a hell of my own creation unfolds. I try to hold myself back, but it's pointless. I try to close my eyes, but it's useless. I try to shut my mouth, but it's hopeless. And when nothing else works, I try to kill myself, but I'm powerless. I am a sick kind of machine, a compactor built to extract blood by any means. Perhaps that is insulting to machines. A machine is at least efficient about its work. No one would design a machine to enjoy its victims' terror or savor their screams. I haven't been human for a long time, just an imposter clothed in human skin. Regardless of what I have or have not done, my nature marks me for death. So they all said, and they were all right. My existence was unjustifiable. I had hoped it would at least be over before the sun rose, but the night never ends. The ritual very nearly succeeds. Arkway falls neatly into my grasp. Given just a little more time, I'll be able to devour her. Instead, an uninvited seventh guest effortlessly tips the scales against us. And so I die. At long, long last. My only regret is that it didn't happen sooner. I am discarded by the roadside, my carcass left to rot among those of people I killed. My eyes are closed for what follows, so I have no way of knowing how the story ends. Finally, I plunge into death's dark abyss. It's alright. It's better this way. Now I'll never have to wake again. Now the memories won't haunt me night after night. It's best for everyone that I stay dead. But even in sleep, I couldn't forget. Of course not. I mustn't ever forget what I've done. So instead, I fought, hoping to be of some use to humanity, vowing never to rest for as long as I lived. I convinced myself that even I could make a difference. How foolish I was. All I achieved was hurting those around me. All I accomplished was tainting her soul. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't know my place. I'm sorry I couldn't die when I should have. I'm sorry I can't fight anymore. These 6 years didn't change me one bit. I've lost everything that made me who I am. Now I'm no more than a mindless husk. It's only right that this is how I meet my end, killing my own heart until there's nothing left inside me. I'm so sorry. I've never should have fooled myself into thinking I was worthy of saving anyone. So why? Why do I still feel the warmth of a hand through my hair? I see. There's someone still out there fighting, carrying me onwards even though I don't deserve it, calling my name over and over, refusing to abandon me. The pallid heat of his body warms my chest. I wish he'd stop. I wish he'd leave me here. There's someone out there who needs me. I'm sure he isn't the first, but that isn't enough. I can't fight anymore. I can't take it. I can't bear the memories. I've been in pain for so long. All I want to do is rest. I've never been strong, just terrified of stopping. It was only a matter of time before I derailed and crashed. So what would be the point of picking myself back up? No matter how many vampires I kill, or how many lives I save, I'll never find forgiveness.
自分は許されないだって。そんなの当たり前だ。 あなたは絶対に許されない。何よりあなた本人が自分を許すことを認めない。
The voice is right by my ear, speaking the heartfelt words of someone who is no longer here. But he's right. There's no forgiveness waiting for me, no absolution. I can't ever atone for my past. The best I can do is stay here in the darkness.
違いますよ。あなたが許さないと誓ったのは過去じゃなくてこの先の行いでしょう。何をしても結果は同じなら、何をしても失われたものは戻らないのなら、せめて一つでも多くの良いことをやって死なないと。
I sob into my knees. His words strike home. The thought of my stupidity threatens to tear my chest open. I know. Believe me, I know. I spent 6 years living like that. But now I wonder if that wasn't sinful in itself. After all lives I've taken, what right do I have?
許されないの。
My sobs intensify as the depth of my cowardice hits me. I must be the vilest creature alive. Everything on this earth should scorn me. And yet, I feel the squeeze of someone's embrace.
あなたは言った。死なない体だから、体が強いから罪に耐えられた。自分と同じ体なら誰でも耐えられたと。でもそれは違う。絶対に違うんです。体が強いからじゃない。あなたは始まりから心が強かった。そういう強い心があったから罪を背負い続けられた。それは
That's something he can never have, he says. And I should be proud to let it shine through. My sins may be many, but if I manage to cultivate a virtuous heart, to nurture it, to keep it close, then there was meaning in my atonement. He tries to hide the sadness lurking beneath his words, as though he's letting go of something he desperately wanted for himself.
俺はどうしようもない人間で、実のところ感謝することはたくさんあったけど、楽しいと思える時はなかったんです。でもあなたがいてくれた。あなたがいてくれると嬉しい。あなたが笑ってくれると嬉しい。俺は先輩のために生きていきたいと思ったんです。あなたの道に付き添っていく。あなたが許される日は来ないと分かっていても、あなたが自らを許せる日が来ることを願ってずっと一緒に歩いていく。だから厳しいけど力尽きるまで戦うのをやめないで。
The pressure of his embrace fades away. His presence gently withdraws. With a bashful smile, he runs off towards the battlefield, his faith in me, the wings at his back.
なんて見当違いの信頼でしょう。私が始まりから強かった。全く馬鹿らしい。あなたは自分を殺さなかった。自分の命可愛さにみんなを見殺しにした。この世で最もありきたりな利己主義という悪心、それが私たちの正体でしょう。
I stop my weeping. Boiling blood surges through my leaden body. It's painful, excruciating. I've come back to life more times than I can count, but the agony is overwhelming every time. I really can't seem to stop apologizing. I'm sorry, my body. I put you through a lot, but please, bear with me just a little longer.
私たちは元からそういう生き物だった。ロアという吸血鬼はケーキに過ぎない。私は優れた肉体を持って生まれてしまった。いずれ周囲との圧力は起こっていた。 それがあのような形になっただけだ。私はどうあれきっと多くの罪を犯していた。多くの人間に石を投げられる運命だったのよ。